Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Here with the coach, John Brent.
I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin, and we hope everything stays. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
So moving along, we're going to talk about jumping ship.
Jumping ship like LeBron James went from the Cavs to the Heat.
I think it's a little more honorable than that.
Or how about T.O. going from the Eagles to the Cowboys?
I think it's a little bit more honorable than that.
Okay, let's hear it.
So Christian Sinema jumping from the derogatory party to the independent party.
Derogatory party.
That's what it should be
the
called.
D to the I.
Yeah, the D to the I, the derogatory party.
And I really think she helped herself out because by not going from D to the R.
Yeah.
But not going Democrat to Republican, it makes it look like you're Liz Cheney type.
Well, you know, she was a congresswoman, and now she's a senator when she ran for Senate. And she said when she was a congressperson running for Senate that there's some things that she agreed with Trump with, and there's some things that she didn't. And she says, I'm not going to be bound by a puppet master. I'm not going to be bound like that. I will vote what's best for my state.
Yeah, have you heard much derogatory statements from the Democrats or Republicans since she's moved?
Initially, yes. Oh, initially.
I didn't hear much. I didn't hear it.
I wish I had them kept. But initially, they were like, she was never a Democrat to begin with. That selfish little blankety blank, da-da-da-da.
I think Chuck grabbed him and said, hey, stop.
I think Keith Olbermann went after her.
Did he? Oh, I didn't even know he was still doing anything.
I thought he was supposed to be a sports guy, to be honest.
He was good back then.
Yeah, back then. But so, I mean, I've seen some that just lost their mind. And I've heard some people say this, Coach, well, she should have to resign her seat.
No.
And I'm like, hold on. Didn't you vote for her? Didn't that state vote for her?
So what you're saying is party is bigger than the ideology.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like me. I've always been a conservative. I have voted for Democrats in the past. I have. But the majority of the time I have voted for conservatives. I voted for Donald Trump twice. I said I will not vote for Donald Trump if he runs for president and becomes a nominee. I just won't do it. Sometimes your ideology and your belief system changes a little bit, or the person that you're supporting changes a little bit. So in her thing, I think, she's seeing all this craziness going on in the Democratic Party, and she's like, and then you got some of the things she doesn't agree with in the Republican Party. She's like, wait a minute, I need to be here for my people.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to cover that part here in a minute, but listen to this. I had told my aunt and uncle at one time that I was going to think about running for Congress one day. And they go, Ian, we love that. You're smart as heck, da-da-da-da. You're going to be great. You've been around people all across the world. You understand how things work in America and other countries. Just as long as you run as a Democrat, we'll vote for you all day. Why can't you just vote for me?
Yeah.
Why do you have to do that? Why does the party have to be more important than family? Why does the party have to be more important than religion? And why does the party have to be more important than America?
You know what has happened is the party that you support has become the standard of right and wrong and truth, no matter if it's right, wrong, or truthful. And what I mean by that is when you have somebody that does something in a party of a Democrat and you're a Democrat, then you either don't acknowledge it. Yep. That's normally what happens. Or you say, well, what about happened when this Republican did it?
Exactly. Or you do this.
Right.
You turn that blind eye.
And the same way with Republicans. They do the same thing.
Both sides.
So when a person like this takes an ideological and a belief stance and say, look, I can't sleep with myself being a Democrat the way that this mess is going on. And I can't jump all the way from this ship to this ship the way the Republicans are feeling. But I just want to be independent as an independent thinker. Why do we not have more of those people?
I agree. So I'm going to cover two things that I think is important. First thing is she just made herself the most powerful senator for the next 2 years.
She did.
Because
they're going to have
they're going to pander for her vote left and right. She's not dumb on that. She made herself the most powerful senator for the next 2 years. The next thing I will say is no one has anybody to blame but the Democratic Party themselves. When you chase a grown woman into the bathroom to protest her and the leader of your party goes, it's funny, we all have to do it, instead of standing and go, no, that's wrong. Yeah. No leader in the Democratic Party came out and did that.
Yeah, if you don't protect
Nancy
your
didn't do it. Elizabeth Warren didn't do it. Gillibrand didn't do it. Freaking Joe
chased.
Biden didn't do it. But let one of those have that happen to them, and they would have been an outrage.
It's just like
or let Kamala Harris had it happen to her. It would have been an outrage.
It's the amazing thing of people like Maxine Waters saying, go to them in restaurants on the street and do this. It's Eric Holder saying, when they hit us, we hit them in the knee or whatever. you use these terms, and then when you have someone on the Republican side, like Trump said, let's go to the White House and let our voices be heard and do all this, and they call that a riot. It just depends on the ideology. It's like, are you kidding? What Maxine Waters said that day was absolute inciting violence.
Well, I'll just say back to this, is they ostracized her within their own party.
Sure.
Is what they did. They did it, you know what? Not the same exact scenario, but they did it also with Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
They ostracized her because she spoke out against the Holy One, HRC. And thou shall not do that unless you expect a suicide coming.
Too,
Unless you expect a suicide coming, thou shall not do that. And with Sinema, they sit there and like, yeah, do whatever you want with her. We don't care. She's really not this and that of our party. So why would you expect her to stay with y'all when you treated her like shit?
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. And it's sad that we are at a state in our country that George Washington was totally terrified of, that the political parties being more than the country. That's where we are. Yeah. Like you said, your story with your family. Oh, if you run as a Democrat. I have people all the time that when I ask them, are you Republican or Democrat? Oh, I always vote Democrat. And I say, okay, so what about immigration, this, and this? And 5 of the 6 that they say they're for are actually the way the Republicans feel.
Yeah.
And I point that out, and they're like, yeah, but I'm a Democrat. I said, well, your ideological beliefs are aligned with exactly what the Republicans believe, and why are you voting Democrat? Well, I've always voted Democrat. It's like we totally forget that to move to that independence thinking. I like that it's an independent party, but the way I look at it is, I think we need to have more independent thinkers.
Yes.
That in each individual policy comes up or issue comes up, you don't go, well, I'm going to follow this party or follow that party. I sit back in my chair and go, okay, y'all tell me what this is all about. Okay, my belief is this, and that's how I'm voting.
So I'll say this, is I don't agree with everything Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski have done, but I respect that they thought on their own and voted on their own.
Sure.
And I do the same thing with Joe Manchin, and I did the same thing with Christian Sinema. I respect that they're not a puppet of, Chuck Schumer or Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi or the party. They're a person who thinks, is this best for my people and my state? And I will say, to me, there's several people who win off this. The country wins of Christian Sinema's decision. Mm-hmm. The state of Arizona and its people won, and I will say she won because she just made herself the most powerful person in the Senate.
And she has a little bit of an example with Joe Manchin. I mean, Joe Manchin's people in West Virginia, are happy with him and not happy in different times. But there have been times that there has been votes where it's like, what is Manchin going to do? Because that's the swing.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, Manchin, because he's had a very good belief system where he's pretty consistently kind of in the middle before he makes a decision, and he goes, okay, tell me what you think, and you tell me what you think. Okay, this is the way I'm going.
Yeah.
And I wish we had 5 or 6 of those people instead of just 1 or 2.
I wish we had probably about, to be honest, I'd like to see about 10 or 15.
That would be great.
And because that would change the balance of power where it's about policy first instead of about your damn party that really doesn't help America. Think about this. Can you count how many times the president or the vice president has taken their goat-smelling carcasses down there to freaking Arizona and went and visited the border with Christian Sinema?
How many times?
0.
Right.
It's 0. Although the White House press secretary says that he's been to the border, but we have no documentation.
Didn't Joe Biden say he went to the border?
He said he said before then he hadn't been to the border, Yeah. So I'm just
we know the border czar hadn't been to
no.
anywhere.
But she being a Democratic senator who has a border crisis at her door that she's talked about, she is not kicked up to the curb. She has been very vocal about it and been down there. You would think if the party wanted her, that at least one of those two, if not, Elizabeth Warren or AOC would have went down there with her.
Let's think how important it is now. Now that we have that vote, it's still a 50-50 vote.
It's still a 50-50.
If she swings. Let's just imagine if one more did. One more Democrat said, you know what, I'm not going to be a Republican, but I'm going to be independent too.
Well, I'm going to say this, is her and Manchin are still going to pull the strings.
Right, but I'm just saying that because that still kind of makes it a 50-50 with Kamala.
Yeah.
But let's just say one of them just out of the blue said, you know what, I don't want to be the Democrat anymore, even though I have Democratic thinking, and I think the Republicans are way off.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to start just being in the middle, and I want to think on every issue. You know what that would do? Just one person more could make this country go, wait a minute, we have to pedal to the middle a little bit, moderates a little bit more. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I
It's
would
not
love to see it.
I wish it would.
I wish we had a moderate party.
I-
What'd you call it?
the-
That party that you were talking about, we should have it called,
Oh,
not America's First Party?
America First Party.
Yeah.
America Party.
And that would be
America Party.
great. We just think about America first and then go party.
Think about this. Think about it. We had equal representation, 33% of a third party.
Yeah.
But we really don't need that. We just need 20, 15% because it would put the other two in balance. It would put them in check real quick. But when we have that, what do? Coach, what do when the Tea Party came about? President came out on his pulpit and ostracized them, tried to make them into Satan's little daughters and everything else, saying, oh, they want this and this and this. When if you peel back down and you listen to them, yeah, this was kind of weird, but hell, the derogatory party, all this is weird, and then all this was good.
I guess the only time I can think about in history with a major electionary thing where it really made a big swing, Bill Clinton would have never been president if Ross Perot wouldn't have ran.
Yeah.
And that was a good move because he felt like the Republicans kind of dissed him.
Well, hold on. I got a question on that. Was that so, or was Ross Perot doing a warm handshake with Bill Clinton? And
I don't know.
The only reason why he didn't commit suicide because he had too much money to protect himself.
All I know is
I'm just throwing that out there.
all I do know this is that in my mind, there is 100% for sure that Bill Clinton would have never been president if Ross Perot had not run.
I totally agree because you know what? George H.W. Bush had the highest approval rating of any president.
He did, but he messed up with one line. What was it? Read my lips. No more taxes.
And
they used that.
Yeah, he used the bejesus.
But H. Ross Perot took a majority, a larger majority
He did.
of the red votes
Yep.
than he did any blue votes. And that was the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe.
Whatever it takes to get in power. Ain't that right, Hillary? I'm sorry. So anyway, whatever it takes. Ain't that
Yeah,
right?
so this is
Hey,
a good
so
move
don't
by
kill
her.
me. I'm just saying.
I'm kind of happy for her, and I'm kind of pulling for her.
Yeah,
And I think that there should be more Americans and more people from both parties should kind of pat her on the back and say, you know what, we're pulling for you. Because I do think it's best for America.
I think so too. I would love to see that, we sign a bill and then we don't go, all my Democratic voters voted for this and 3 of those Republicans did too. Instead of saying, I would like to hear this, is we came together in Congress and we made this happen.
Yeah, just like we love to play identity politics, and I wish it would go away. I wish that it would be this man became head coach instead of this African-American or this Hispanic became. Just like I'd like to say, we had a vote today, and it was 55-45, and it was 55-45.
That's it.
I would love to get to a time, I'm so tired of having identity define us.
Yep. So
You're a white guy, by the way. You're a white older male. You're probably a Republican.
Yeah. Only because of that, not because of how I was raised or the hardships I went through.
I don't know what you can call me. I mean, I vote for, I'm not, hey, I will say this before we get off, because we're talking about voting. If Donald Trump, we said it, if he does run and gets the nomination, they'll say, Donald Trump, this many votes, Joe Biden, this many votes in Smith County, and N. Griffin, 1 vote. Because they put them all in there. You will get 1 vote from me.
I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna put that on the back of my book.
Do that.
The international author who received votes for president.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll write the foreword of why I chose you over those 2 idiots.
That'd be awesome. Well, from that right there, we need some more Christian Sinemas out there. And don't be mad at her. The damn people from Arizona voted for her. Shut up and leave them be.
Oh, I say we need more Cheneys. Come on,
No, we don't
man.
need- No, because you know what? Cheney, this is what's happening with Liz Cheney right now. I'm going to tell you right now. We're about to have Christmas when we're doing this. She's sitting by the fireplace with the grandchildren right now, telling them how bad damn Donald Trump is, instead of hugging her damn grandkids and enjoying life.
Oh, I love Cheney.
So-
we need 5 more Cheneys.
She can't let it go. It has compulsed.
I know how to get this
captivated her.
blood boiling
So
over
anyway,
here.
moving along from the coach.
To the vet.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.